In a dystopian future, a young boy is being fortified through a series of rigorous and exhaustive training. As he matures, he sets out on a mission to kill the city's ruthless dynasty leader, who also murdered his family. The stakes gets higher than ever as he battles the entire leader's family with the help of his imaginary sister. He takes them one by one, so sit tight for twists, turns, and adrenaline-fueled adventure. Hey guys, welcome back to I Am Movies. Today we'll be looking at the 2023 American action thriller movie titled Boy Kills World. But before we jump into the details, be aware there are spoilers. Now let's get right into it. The movie kicks off with Boy, a deaf-mute child undergoing training under the guidance of a shaman. Despite Boy's inability to hear or speak, he excels at lip reading. The shaman is preparing Boy for a single critical mission, to assassinate the Vanderkoys and put an end to their brutal and tyrannical rule that has left the city in rampant poverty, fear, and a pervasive sense of hopelessness. The city is ruled by the Vanderkoy family, Gideon, Melanie, Melanie's husband Glenn, and the head of the family, Hilda. Annually, Hilda orchestrates a brutal ceremony called the Culling, where 12 individuals perceived as threats to the city are killed on a live broadcast. Years earlier, Boy, along with his mother and younger sister Mina, are leaving a normal life. Boy, who is very close to his sister Mina, shares a box of their favorite cereal. They always bond anything together, and every time they walk past by Hilda Vanderkoy statue, they make sure to give it a 5-finger sign for insult. But on the day of annual culling, their life turns upside down as her sister and mother were chosen and killed in front of him. With this, Boy was left alone and found by the shaman, who helped him. Since then, Boy has been under shaman's tutelage, undergoing rigorous training that has molded him into a lethal weapon. Despite the passage of time, Boy continues to experience hallucinations of his beloved sister Mina. Though his memories are fragmented, Mina's courage and their shared dreams of escaping the city remain etched in Boy's mind, providing him with strength and determination. In the present, while at the market, Boy spots a girl smiling at him. She offers him a flower which he quickly accepts. The girl hears the Vanderkoys coming and expresses enthusiasm for the upcoming culling, much to Boy's disgust. Boy is disturbed by her apparent joy at the prospect of innocent lives being taken. He throws the flower back at her and walks away, unable to comprehend her callousness. The Vanderkoys arrive surrounding the market square and their soldiers compel everyone to gather. Hilda's brother Gideon and Melanie's dim-witted puppet husband Glenn soon join them. Glenn mounts a podium to deliver a speech. After the speech, Glenn begins to select the victims but is interrupted by a brave girl from the crowd, who screams at them to cease their cruel acts and release the innocent family. Glenn silences her by threatening to shoot, but the girl refuses to stay quiet and insults Glenn, provoking him to impulsively fire at her. Glenn sarcastically apologizes, claiming it was a mistake, and then ridicules them. However, the bullet misses her and hits someone else. The gunshot carelessly fired by Glenn sparks chaos as the people begin to protest and attack the Vanderkoys. Gideon summons the head of security June 27th. She wears a high-tech helmet that displays her thoughts. With her unmatched skill, June 27th kills those who dare to attack them. Meanwhile, Boy and the shaman hide in a corner observing the madness. Boy is visibly distressed and enraged by the situation. Unable to bear the injustice any longer, Boy attempts to intervene, but the shaman holds him back. The Vanderkoys claim many lives, ultimately selecting only a few individuals for the culling. To meet their quota, Glenn suggests they take some kids, but June 27 objects, stating that kids are not to be taken, to which Gideon agrees. With no other option, they leave with the few they have. Boy tells the shaman that he can no longer bear the killings and insists it is time to stop the Vanderkoys. He follows them by hiding in the trunk of Gideon's car, which leads him to a warehouse. At the warehouse, Melanie arrives and expresses her disappointment that they couldn't find 12 people for the culling. To avoid his wife's wrath for failing the mission, Glenn changes the topic by criticizing the speech Gideon wrote. This leads to an argument about the speech, with Hilda siding with her husband. Referring to the earlier incident, Glenn claims it was an accident. Hilda believes him and advises him to behave better during the culling and do whatever she tells him. She instructs him to change into a new suit. Although Glenn tries to object, Melanie insists, and Glenn, fearful of his wife, complies. Hilda then orders them to find more people before leaving. While sneaking around imaginary, Mina appears, startling Boy, and decides to join him on his mission. She dons her ninja outfit and starts performing stunts. She stands in front of a loaded moving cart, and Boy tries to protect her, forgetting she isn't real, which leads to him being spotted by Glenn and the soldiers. Boy locks imaginary Mina in a safe because she's talking too much and distracting him. The soldiers attack Boy, but he takes them out effortlessly with his mechanical strength. During the fight, Boy discovers a man named Basho chained to a table. Basho asks Boy to free him, offering to help him kill Hilda. Boy frees Basho, but Basho hides behind a cart, leaving Boy to take out the rest of Vanderkoy's soldiers alone. After a successful massacre, Basho comes out of hiding, celebrating their victory. Suddenly, Glenn shows up and starts shooting at them. Fortunately, Basho is holding a gun and quickly shoots Glenn in the leg. Boy tries to finish off Glenn, but Basho stops him, suggesting they get information from him first. Basho holds a heavy object over Glenn and asks where Hilda is. Glenn reveals that she is hosting a banquet party at the Vanderkoy mansion before the culling. He pleads for his life, offering to help them get into the mansion. Glenn, tired of being treated like a puppet, offers to join their quest and get back at the Vanderkoy family. Unfortunately, Basho accidentally drops the heavy object on Glenn's face, killing him. Basho reveals that he's been held captive for over 3 years, making guns for the Vanderkoys, and that he had rigged some of them to backfire. Basho takes Boy to his secret group called the Resistance. They fight against the injustice of the Vanderkoys, and Basho believes they will be helpful in Boy's quest to destroy the Vanderkoys. However, when he arrives at their hideout, Basho finds only Benny and learns that the others have been killed by the Vanderkoys. This makes them emotional, prompting Boy to console them, although he doesn't understand why they're crying because Benny communicated with code words, making it impossible for Boy to read his lips. Just then, imaginary Mina appears, causing Boy to flash back to a time when life was beautiful and simple, which leaves him emotional. Basho shows Boy how they plan to evade the airtight security at the Vanderkoy mansion and get inside. Although Boy doesn't fully understand, he nods in agreement. Upon arriving at the mansion, Benny and Basho disguise themselves as guards, while Boy disguises himself as a chef. Inside, Boy helps himself to some macarons, and the taste overwhelms him. Afterward, Boy heads to the kitchen, takes out all the chefs, proceeds to the dining room, and quickly chops off Hilda's head. However, he realizes that the person he just beheaded isn't Hilda. Gideon appears, pointing a gun at him and mocking him. Gideon explains that the dinner is staged because this isn't the first time that someone will attempt to kill Hilda during the culling. Boy seizes Gideon but frees him when June 27th punches him unexpectedly, throwing him off balance. Everyone exits the room, leaving June 27 to take care of Boy. The duo engages in tough combat, and during the fight, Boy knocks off her helmet. At that moment, imaginary Mina appears, distracting Boy, and June 27th knocks him over the barricade. Boy hits the ground floor and passes out. When Boy wakes up, he is disappointed that he has failed the mission he has prepared for all his life. June 27th tells him that she recognizes his fighting style and knows he was trained by the shaman. She asks him to tell her where he is. Boy lip-syncs the F word to her, making her furious. Gideon asks her to let him handle it. Gideon expresses that he understands why anyone would want to kill his sister, revealing that he too is tired of the killing and the wild goose chase. For many years, they've taken out Hilda's so-called enemies, yet she isn't satisfied. She's been hiding in a bunker in fear of the shaman and orchestrating all her evil doings from there. Gideon takes out a cigarette and puts one in Boy's mouth, but before he can light it, Boy chews it with tenacity, causing Gideon to laugh. Gideon then threatens to slit Boy's throat if he doesn't reveal the shaman's location, claiming the shaman is the reason Hilda continues to kill innocent people. He claims that capturing and killing the shaman will end the culling. However, Boy shows no intention of revealing the shaman's location, prompting Gideon to resort to violence. At that moment, Melanie walks in, whining about Glenn's death. He was supposed to host the show, which leaves her with the trouble of finding a replacement. Melanie decides to make Boy part of the culling since he doesn't want to cooperate. At the studio, Melanie reveals that Hilda will be present in the show, but June 27 doesn't think it's a good idea. She points out that Hilda has been mentally unstable and hiding in bunkers for years, fearing that Hilda's presence might lead to disaster. However, Melanie dismisses her concern and instructs them to get Boy ready for the show. The show begins with Hilda taking to the stage to give a speech, and the crowd cheers and applauds her. She reads the speech from a teleprompter, but upon setting her eyes on Boy, she pauses and starts rambling incoherently. She pulls out a gun and points it at the audience, but they manage to salvage the situation. Boy is confused and surprised by everything happening around him, and can't help but think the Vanderkoy family needs therapy. As soon as the killing begins, imaginary Mina urges Boy to act fast before they kill him. Boy frees himself with a scalpel that Gideon had discreetly given him at the Vanderkoy mansion earlier, and tries to escape, but he is shocked by an electric collar. The costumed executors hold Boy down, as one of them attempts to slay him but ends up killing the other executors instead, and frees Boy. Boy is pleasantly surprised when he discovers that Basho is behind the costume. Benny shows up too, killing the other executors and the guards shooting at them. The trio happily unites and psych themselves up, plunging into battle and taking over the show. Boy and his team work together, killing everyone who attacks them. Behind the scenes, Melanie is flushed and angry, while Gideon makes fun of her. She blames Gideon for the crisis and orders him to fix it, and he tells her that he has already fixed it, driving Melanie crazy. While fighting with his team, imaginary Mina appears, distracting Boy. Melanie takes advantage of this and shoots at Boy, but Benny jumps in and takes the bullet for him. Melanie also shoots Basho, leaving him severely wounded. Boy gets up and dodges Melanie's bullets as he runs to the other side, and uses pineapple prop over her, allowing him to capture her. He then gruesomely kills Melanie near the camera, causing her blood to splash on it just as she liked doing to others. Despite his wounds, Basho refuses to give up and insists on taking Boy to Hilda as he promised. On the way to Hilda's bunker, Basho motivates Boy to show no mercy when he sees a group of soldiers heading in their direction. Filled with rage over the Vanderkoy's evil deeds and the deaths of his family and teammate, Boy slays all the guards in his path with a single strike. In his focus on killing the guards, he misses Basho, succumbing to his wounds. Further along, Boy discovers Gideon, who has been shot by Melanie. Gideon gives him a key card to the elevator down to the bunker. Imaginary Mina appears and begs Boy not to kill Gideon since he helped them. Boy tells her off for being a distraction to him and she disappears looking sad. Boy then kills Gideon and continues to the elevator. In the elevator, Hilda communicates with Boy through a camera and microphone, telling him her soldiers will kill him as soon as the elevator door opens and he'll die for nothing. However, Boy expresses in his inner voice that it is not for nothing but for his sister, showing Hilda a drawing by her sister Mina, leaving Hilda shocked. Hilda orders her soldiers to stand down. When Boy arrives at the bunker, June 27 takes him to Hilda. Boy sees paintings of the Vanderkoy family, which includes him and Mina, leaving him stunned and confused. Hilda hugs Boy, revealing the true story. In a shocking turn of events, Boy discovers that Hilda is his mother, and June 27 is his sister Mina. It turns out that many years ago, during one of the annual culling, Hilda killed the shaman's family, and instructed Boy to kill the shaman for killing his father. However, Boy couldn't bring himself to shoot the shaman and ran away into the woods. At that moment, the shaman also escapes, and he ends up capturing the boy in the woods. Rather than killing him, he had an idea of mutilating the boy, and used lysergic acid diethylamide, a powerful hallucinogenic drug and psychological torture to alter his mind. He also painted a picture of another woman as his mother, and made him believe that Hilda killed his mother and sister. Boy is in shock and doesn't show Hilda any emotion or affection. Hilda tells June 27th that Boy is no longer her brother, and that he's now the shaman's weapon and too far gone. She orders her to kill him. June 27th proceeds to kill Boy, but freezes when Boy makes a familiar sign from their childhood, which made June 27 to remember all their childhood bonding. Hilda orders her to finish him, but June 27th stabs Hilda instead. Boy and June 27 battle their way through the remaining guards and escape with minor injuries. In the elevator, June 27th reveals that she never stopped looking for him, although the shaman made them believe he was dead. As they exit the elevator, they're confronted by the shaman. Boy tells him that he has gotten everything he wanted, and that everyone else is dead. But the shaman tells him that Mina is still alive and he wants her dead, which Boy will not allow. The three engage in a lengthy and brutal fight, leaving all three severely wounded. Fortunately, Boy, who trained hard with shaman before, gets hold of the shaman's sharpened necklace. He then uses that to slash the shaman's body, and with a vision of his younger self, he finally kills his mentor. As Boy and Mina both bleeding profusely while exiting the bunker, Boy promises to Mina that he will take them far away from that hellhole they've been through. As the movie ends, we see Boy and Mina happily eating their favorite cereal together, just like they used to when they were younger. And this is where our story ends. If you'd like to see us recap any other movies or topics you have in mind, just drop a comment and let us know. And don't forget to hit the like button, share this recap, and subscribe to stay updated for the next one. Until next time.